This is Austin St. John. I'm Jason, the original Red Ranger. You guys would remember me from the early 93, 94 hit TV series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I wanted to talk to you today about how I landed the role as Jason, the Red Ranger. I'm going to tell you stuff not everybody knows yet. Are you ready for that? Because here we go. Number one. The original audition, it was a cattle call. It was advertised in the LA newspaper. Everybody, anybody, your mom, your grandma, your grandpa, your uncle, your cat, your dead cat, anybody could have showed up for the audition and had a shot at this thing. It was 10,000 people rolled into this audition. 500,000 starving actors in Hollywood. Let me tell you, all of them were there. I'm in high school. I am truly a high school kid with attitude. Well, I'm not gonna say I was typecast, but I was. Anyway, took a buddy of mine 3 weeks. He nagged me, he's like, hey Austin, I'm telling you, you're not gonna be wasting your time if you go for this audition. I don't like cameras, I don't like large groups of people. I'm an introvert, I like my time. I'm teaching martial arts, I'm in a high school. What am I gonna do with this? What are the chances I'm gonna land this role? I'm not going. It's like $20, you'd be wasting your time. Gas was 89 cents a gallon at the time. $20 was a full tank of gas for a week. Fine, I'll take you 20 bucks. It's gonna be a complete waste of my time. Well, I lost 20 bucks. So here I am, he tells me, there's this thing in the paper, it's called Phantoms. And they're looking for 5 superheroes. Teenagers with attitude. Like, that was it. That was how it was explained. I don't have attitude, the hell with you guys. There's no attitude here, I'm in high school. Leave me alone, I know everything already at 17. So I show up, along with everyone else on planet Earth. They put us in a group and they're like, hey man, how many of you know martial arts? Because I've been doing it since I was 5, right? I'm looking around, bunch of hands went up, bunch of hands where you could look at the dude and clearly tell his hand shouldn't have gone up, but it went up anyway. All those hands that didn't go up, they're like, great, there's the door. So after that, they handed out these monologues and they were like, this you'll do at another audition, but right now what we want you to do is show us your karate. I was like, because I was a teenager with attitude, I was like, I didn't study karate. You said you knew martial arts. Yeah, well, show us your karate. I didn't study karate. So they're like, well, show us your martial arts. I was like, fine, which one? And they're like, any of them. Because karate is a type of martial art, right? It's not all of them. Finally, I was like, all right. So I did this whole shebang and they're like, thanks, man. Over there. Next. Like, that was it. So I've got this piece of paper that has something on it. It's called a monologue. Now, at 17, I had no idea what a monologue was. I'm reading this, and this is cheesy, all right? I was just at a show called Phantoms. My character's name is Victor. What is this crap? Because I was too cool. So I'm reading through it, and I'm like, all right. Went in the next time, did you read your monologue? I was like, yeah. Did I read it? They didn't tell me I had to memorize it. I wasn't an actor. I didn't know these things. Nobody, I didn't have an agent. Nobody was there with me. I was a 17-year-old know-it-all that knew nothing with a paragraph that they asked me to read. And they're like, you didn't memorize it. I read it. I did my job. You didn't tell me memorize it. That's different than reading it. Amateur all over this guy because I am completely an amateur. So as it goes on, they're like, all right, fine. Pick up the paper, read it off the paper. I'm like, all right, now look at us and be this character. And I'm like, this character, be this character, read it, and look at you. I'm trying to piece together the whole operation here. It is not going well for me. But somehow I did. And I get another call back. The next time, now I understand, read it means memorize it. So I've got it memorized. 5 auditions we go through, and as we go through them, they start setting us into groups. There was the tall group, the medium group, and the short group. I clearly was in the exceptionally tall group, just in case you didn't notice. Anyway, I'll move on. The 3rd audition, they bring in one of the hottest action directors or choreographers of the time. He was doing stunts for like Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes, all over the big 90s movies. He was about yay tall. He had this, he was, I don't even know how to describe this guy. He looked like someone that would have eaten his own children for breakfast and then not even noticed they were missing. I'm looking at this guy thinking, I know he ate his own children for breakfast this morning. He looks like he's gonna eat me too. And then I find out he's an 8th Dan of Waterloo. which is a martial art. And I remember the director, Strath Hamilton, and he was always the guy who's like, hey mate, listen, this is what I'm gonna need from you. If you could just step over here and you could line this up right about like this, and I'm gonna need you to turn like 3/4 this way so that when you deliver your line, you're right about here with the camera. Can you do that for me, mate? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, good job, mate. So again, my character's name is Victor. My Christian name was Jason. My stage name was Austin. It got real confusing real quick, and Tadashi comes in and Strath goes, hey mate, listen, I'm gonna need you to spy with this guy. You can spy with this guy, and that would be great. You think you could take care of that? We get a little bit on film, and then I'll chat with him and see how you do. I was like, oh, all right, no problem. Yeah, he's got like some 8th degree black belt and something or other, and I'm like, I've got a 2nd dan. I'm getting ready to spar with an 8th dan. I'm like, oof. I didn't have the experience then that I have now. And I thought I am about to die. So this goes on, and he walks over to this guy and he says, hi mate, listen, I need you to fight with that gun, tell me if he's got what it takes to be the leading off him. He was like, okay, and he just walks over, he's very smug. You know, he's like an angry hobbit from Japan, and he's here to kill you, and he's not, his pulse isn't even gonna rise above 40 before he does it. And he's just like, You know, I bet he did like all of the Japanese kamikaze films, because he just had that, you can't even describe it, you just needed to see it. He was like part gremlin, part human, exceptional martial artist, really sourpuss face. Maybe he ate limes for breakfast, I don't know. So he comes over and he's like, you ready? Yeah, he goes. And that was it, and we launched. And we sparred all around this gym on the floor. I mean, tearing at each other. And he was like, high kicks, I want to see high kicks, throw it in my hips, pow! You know, pow, 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 pow! And we're bobbing, we're weaving, and just throwing everything in there, all that we can. And I'm throwing everything I got at this guy. And we are flying. I mean, hundreds of movements in probably less than a minute. Each minute as it goes on. And that doesn't sound like a lot until you try to do it. And we finish up, and I'm like, okay, all right. And not that my heart was straining, but really I thought I was gonna die with this guy. So it was more a mental recovery thing. And he walks over and he's like, and so Strathy's like, yeah man, so has he got it? And he's like, and turned around and walked away, and that was it. I was like, I just got some master who eats people for a living's blessing. And 1, 2, 3. I still have all 20 of my digits. I won something here today. I'm not sure what it was, but I feel pretty cool. Little did I know it was short-lived. Weeks out before the 5th audition, I get to meet the angry hobbit one more time. And I love this guy, so I use these names endearingly. He's probably gonna kill me anyway, but that's okay. I get to meet him again, and he's like, listen, we need to choreograph a fight. And I'm not gonna do the accent, because I don't have an angry Japanese, mad, lemon-eating, I killed my children voice. But if I did, play it in your own head as I speak so we can connect on this, all right? So as he's talking to me, he's like, we need to set up our fight. It's gonna be live in front of all of the heads of 20th Century Fox and Saban Entertainment, so no pressure. That sounds really important. Even I know what 20th Century Fox was, because I see it at the beginning of all the films I watch at home. And he's like, this is gonna be big fight, super fast, very intense, we're going to do this. Yes sir, I got it. And so we started choreographing this monster of a fight. And I mean, hundreds of movements, we are just flying. There was this one segment of the fight where he kept insisting that I throw this full power, full speed reverse crescent kick. Just pow, foot comes up and over, and we were in the middle, hands, and then there's the foot. It's instantaneous like that. And he is really close on me, which is what's perfect about hand-to-hand combat. So he wants me to get my foot up there. Flexibility wasn't the problem, speed wasn't the problem. I knew based on my speed and his proximity that if I did it at my full speed, I was gonna kick his head off his shoulders. How do you tell that to an 8th dan as an intimidated, I know everything 17-year-old boy, right? So we're nailing this thing down and we have got it. It was just like training a form. We did it so many times, lightning fast, And it was epic. I mean, everybody else that was choreographing their fights would stop and watch the one that he had made with me. And he was designing all theirs too. So he started getting mad at me because he knew I was holding back on this kick. He knew I was faster. This is called discipline. This is called control. This is how you don't hurt people you work with, right? That's born into you and beat into your head long before you even get your first black belt. So we're going on and on and on, and we're having it, and we get to the main audition. And here we are, we're at the Haim Saban building, and they have this huge horseshoe of all of these executives from 20th Century Fox, and Haim Saban's whole gaggle of people are on one side. Yamashita and I come in, and Strath is there, he's like, "Hi mate, listen, here you go, this is the big one. You get this one right, and I'm telling you, you've got the role. No pressure." My pulse is 5,000 just standing, and I haven't even thrown a punch yet with the guy who could kill me with his pinky. I don't know what it is about auditions. Like, it's their job to look completely disinterested. Yes, please bore me with your most exceptional performance. Are these people twisted? Are they evil? I think in an answer, yes. So here we are, I'm looking at these faces. I've got a man who's about to eat me on camera with me. And then I hear, "Hi mate, action!" And here's the first punch flying in at my face. I'm like, woo, okay. Slip move, bop, crack, 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 and we're flying immediately. And he's whispering at me the whole time. He's like, "Full speed, full speed, full speed." And this angry Japanese hobbit, "I'm going to eat you boys." And he's throwing in all these, and I'm like, "Oh, ooh, is this Lamaze? It kind of sounds like it. No, kia, kia, And here comes this segment where I'm supposed to throw this full power crescent kick, and he's like, "Do it." So I did. Meanwhile, in local low-flying radar, they see this unidentified object take air. He flies with the most amazing grace all the way across the floor. I mean, airborne, like a swan. I don't know how he made it look so pretty. Hits the floor, rolls, and comes up like nothing. I mean, I just hit him with a kick that should have killed a horse. And he rolls out of it right up to the foot of Haim Saban and 20th Century Fox at the horseshoe. Gets up and never breaks character. And at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna die. He's really gonna kill me now. I thought he was an angry hobbit before. Now he's somewhere between the dragon that burned the ancient city and my mom when she's pissed. And he is circling just with this. And he's walking, and he's walking, and he's tracking me, and he circles, and he lets it soak in, and then he finally just comes right back in me, and he raises his hand, and this is his warning, it's coming. So I know we're gonna pick up right where we left off, but I'm convinced it's really gonna hurt this time. And he comes in, he's like, "Yes!" 5 times faster than we ever choreographed it. Pow, 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 wow, woo, woo, and we finish, and I'm like, am I alive? Am I alive? I'm alive. Wait. Yeah, that hurt. I'm alive. And next thing I know, everybody is up on their feet. And these angry people like, "You suck." When I walked in the room, we're like, "Best fight we've seen all day. That was so good." And I'm still looking at, I'm like, I can't take my eyes off of him. I'm like, any minute's gonna be the chop to the throat. I was jacked, high tuned, right? We finish, and I walk out to the standing ovation, and Strath catches me at the door. He's like, "Hi, mate, that was great. That was great. I'll tell you right there, that was the one that's gonna do. We're gonna have to talk about this. You did a great job, man. Hey, Yamashita, how was that? Was it good? Did it feel good to you? Because it looked great to us. That was magnificent, man. Great, great, great." And he turns around and closes his door, and I'm like, now he's gonna kill me in the hallway. I'm still terrified for my life. How am I supposed to be excited? I'm going to be excited right before I die. It was like the emperor in the Roman theater. "We who are about to die salute you." I mean, that's kind of what it felt like. And Yamashita comes up to me in true martial artist form and shook my hand, said "good job," and walked off. It was the last I ever saw of the man. Not long, I found out that my group, the Exceptionally Tall People, we were all cast as Power Rangers. And they changed my character name from Victor when I took the name Austin because they liked Jason, so they changed it from Victor to Jason. Are you following that? because that was almost as complicated as the whole fight. I think my pulse is going up just thinking about it. Love to retry that fight now, much more complicated.